And welcome in everyone to the Challenge After Show. The challenge isn't airing right now, but that's not stopping us for talking all challenge gossip, news, and just fun stuff. And tonight it's one of those fun stuff things, and we're doing our top 5 challengers of all time. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's going to be on YouTube for a little bit, then it's going to go over onto Patreon. Please comment below your favorite challengers. And we would love that. We would love to respond to those answers as well.
Please.
I'm here with Pam, and we're gonna do it snake draft style, where we're just gonna be going like a snake through this whole thing. We're all gonna give our top 5, top 4, top 3, top 2, honorable mentions, and then top 1. Yeah?
Got it. And that's why I had to look down just now, because I just had my top 5, but I didn't necessarily have them in order. So I had to like copy and paste and rearrange my top 5 a little bit. But I'm excited because let me preface it by saying this was really hard for me to do, not only to narrow it down because it's just about favorite for entertainment purposes, but there was a lot of factors to weigh in, like, well, this person was a boss ass competitor, but she kind of was an asshole. So I don't really want her to be in my top 5. So I had a hard time narrowing it down based off of just like all of the elements of picking somebody, but also because there's been so many people that I really liked, but may have remembered differently. And I've recently watched some seasons again. I'm like, oh, they weren't as likable. They weren't as like cool as I remember. They were problematic. And as you guys know, there's like a shit ton of problematic cast members in the whole past of the challenge. This entire series has like a lot of problematic people in the past. So that made it really hard being like, wait, I like this person because of this, but oh shit, they did that. So I can't really put them in my top 5.
Yeah, and I may have put them in my top 5 anyways based on that. So it's interesting that you bring that up, because I did think about that. But I just liked them so much when they were on it. It was hard not to. But yes, I got texts from both you ladies today saying how hard it was to pick your top 5 and the struggle that you were going through. So I think it's great. Pam, how did your top 5 go? Is it okay? Is it good?
So not unlike, well, first of all, I picked up on it, but as not a sport, so a snake draft, that just means we're gonna go round robin. Is that what a snake draft?
I'll just call it. You're in the middle, Pam, so you have it the easiest. You're all set. We have you going second, so you're fine.
Okay. All right. Good to know. It's not like running from someone that's shooting at you. You want to go like vertical, like a snake.
It will be kind of like a snake. So what's gonna happen? It's gonna go Jenna, you, me again, you, Jenna, Jenna again, and so on.
Got it.
We're in the middle. Yes. You're all set.
Okay. So I also didn't have mine in order, but it was really easy. It was hard picking them, and it was really easy to put them in position though once I had them picked, because I also didn't, and I was like, oh, easy, 5, 4, 3.
Like I wrote them down, and then I literally today I was like, all right, I got to put them in some type of order. I had the 5 that I wanted, but I had to finalize it. So it's gonna be fun. All right, so let's get right into it, and we'll start with Jenna. And Jenna, your number 5 slot. So we're going from our technically least favorite all the way down.
Of our top 5.
But they made the top 5, which is insane, because there's been probably, how many challenges did you say have ever been on? 1,000 people? Ooh, that seems like a lot, maybe less. But
no, I think more.
It's exactly to your point. There's so many people that it's crazy to try to narrow it down to 5. And I think that we should keep this going with like more specifications. Like, okay, best athletes, best trash talker, most entertaining, most likable, most hateable, like shit like that, because all of that made it really hard to pick just 5.
This is kind of the overall, and then we can always break it down to the different categories for sure in other episodes.
But this I think is kind of cool too, because I had my sister over earlier. My fiance watches the challenge too. Like, we're all diehard fans. And it's just so interesting. Somebody who was in my top 5, they're like, hell no, I would never put that person in mine. That's why it's really cool, because every person is unique for whatever reason, you know, like people just hit others differently.
I don't think that we're going to match that much. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think we're going to have a lot of variety here. And I'm very excited to see who you girls put in it. So.
I think I can guess a few in each of yours.
Me too. And I think there's like 1 or 2 that we all like. It's a few and far between that we're all like, yes, they're the best. But I think there's one that might show up in more than one of ours. 1 or 2. So I'm really excited to see.
So no further ado, what is the saying?
Without further ado.
Without further ado. So my bottom spot is actually Veronica.
Ooh.
She is just like an OG. And I felt like maybe a little bit of bias from doing AfterBuzz played into my decision because we met her and she wasn't just who she was on TV. Like she was cool as hell. Like she hung out, went outside with us in the back after we filmed our show live, like talked with us for over an hour, answered all of our questions, was like authentic with everything. So I feel like she just is who she is. She's not playing up a character for TV, and she's a part of that OG group that they bring that to the show. That's what we all love. That's our nostalgia.
It's so funny you bring that up, Jenna, because we actually talked about that on the show last week about how awesome Veronica was. Because we were doing our All-Stars, who we want to see on All-Stars season 2, and Pam said she wanted to see Veronica because of all those reasons. So there you go.
Yes, I mean, I totally watched you guys last week, so that must have been where I got my inspiration. I may have missed that episode or just that part rather. That's
right. You just it glitched over the part, so that's the only reason.
Right.
Right now.
Exactly. So Veronica, my number 5.
And I do love when we're unanimous in someone, and like Veronica was a standout cool girl. Like she was awesome. So yeah, I second it. I like it.
Pam, you're up.
Oh, I am. Okay, so this is how the snake works. So at number 5, okay, I have a few reasons why I picked Ashley Mitchell.
Damn.
Ashley Mitchell at number 5. Okay, so second highest prize money winner of the entire challenge ever after Bananas. Pretty impressive, pretty badass for someone that I would not consider particularly athletic. Second, she kind of creeps up at you and is athletic. She's hit or miss. She wound up obviously doing well in a lot of competitions. She's well-rounded. She winds up pulling her weight and doing well when push comes to shove. She's got good game. Good. She can kind of do everything. It's not like she's a standout at one thing or like the strongest, biggest, but she winds up doing everything pretty well. I also picked her because her personality obviously is great, but I am a complete flip-flop for her. I started off hating her for throwing tantrums and just being downright awful. And when she came in, I think she was from a dating part and she was new to me and I did not like her. And now she's one of my all-time favorites. So for those reasons, I'm picking Ashley Millionaire Mitchell for my number 5.
You know why Ashley and Bananas have the most money though, right?
Because they screwed people over.
They were the only 2 people to even be allowed to steal the money. So that is why, but also they've been around for a while and they have won in other times. So I do get where you're coming from there. But.
Yes, I mean, Ashley, in the research, it did say, remember she sabotaged her own team on the sports thing when they were playing for charity? Yes, Ashley is a lot, but she's entertainment value. She brings it.
I've been right about the variety so far because neither of those people are on my list. So this is, yeah.
I love that you picked her, Pam, actually, because she can get wild in a way that is unjustified, like her temper tantrums.
Oh, yeah.
However, she's iconic, like what she has brought to the show with her personality. People can sit on the couch and say like, oh, I hate her, she's crazy, all they want, but like they secretly are loving the fact that she's there to watch. So I love that you picked her because she is that like burst of just kind of craziness that is entertaining. So she brings something to the show for sure.
Yeah, she's crazy and fun. She's Smashley. And she's gone from Smashley to a millionaire from winning money, so that's great. And I do think that exactly with what you said with her being iconic, I think she knows she plays the reality TV game. I don't think everything is sincere, but I do believe she believes there is some authentic feeling behind it. I don't think she's just making up plot things for the camera. I think she's just a little all over the place. Whereas it seems like, how do you feel that way? And then that way, I mean, she's quit a few times. She's erratic. She's a hothead. But I think she does seem to me to have a sense of humor about knowing a game's a game. She'll you know, she hooks up with people. She brings on all. She brings the drama, the flavor, and I do think she has a sense of humor about herself, which is nice.
And she has really good like one-liners, good confessionals. Like she's funny in that way. She's definitely wittier than people give her credit.
If you want entertainment, you picked a good one with Ashley, that's for sure.
Mhm.
All right, my number 5, I'm going to stay with the strong female competitors. I'm going with Diem. I'm throwing Diem in my number 5 spot. Yes. Not only for what she had to go through while she was on the show and how strong she had to be, not just in a game, but just dealing with ovarian cancer and all that stuff. But let's also talk about probably my favorite relationship to appear on the challenge, and that's her and CT. Because I watched the challenge not just for the hookups, but for the love stories that can happen. And they dated for like a year and a half off the show too. Like they weren't just a show romance. So for those reasons, she's in my number 5 spot. And I get to continue the snake draft into my number 4 spot now. And related to Diem, I had to throw in CT. My 4
He only got number 4?
Well, yeah, unfortunately, but he's so because you know what, honestly, when I first met CT in the real world Paris, I thought he was kind of a jerk.
Oh,
and he was a jerk.
Right, like he was a jerk.
Yeah, so it took years and years for him to grow on me, and it probably started on the duel with Diem. When he showed up there, she had appeared the season before or so on Fresh Meat, and then they met on the duel, and that was like the best love story. And obviously, him picking up bananas in the backpack. Anyone that picks on bananas or picks up bananas with a backpack, you know, he's just a great. CT's obviously a strong competitor, amazing at puzzles, very well rounded, etc., etc. I'll let you two jump in on the CT thoughts there. Yeah,
love it.